Ladies and gentlemen, when I received the invitation to address this convocation of the Mysore University, I felt happy for several reasons. A personal one is that a portion of my life has been intimately linked with the state. Before I deal with the problems that face our youth, I should like to refer briefly to our tradition in learning and scholarship. From the fountain of Hindu culture and tradition, people of this great country are continuously inspired to sustain human values. To a person like myself who has lived through the period of two world wars, the acid test of college education is the extent to which it has contributed to the preservation of those eternal values. In the ultimate analysis, the purpose of higher education would be fulfilled only if it enlarges and sustains human values. If it leads only to the fashioning of weapons of destruction, to the spreading of hatred and bitterness, then I say in all earnestness, it would be a good day for humanity if the universities are closed down. In the competition for power and prosperity, there is the danger of ignoring and even forgetting the meaning and essence of life. My conception of a college is that it should promote the pursuit of science for the good it confers on the human race and for inculcating the spirit of objective thinking. The acquisition of knowledge for its own sake is an end worth in itself. Perhaps the greatest advances in science have been made by men who had no motive other than the pursuit of truth for its own sake. Therefore, the universities of the present day must conform to the ideal of acquiring knowledge for the good of humanity. Now I come to a subject which has acquired some importance recently in our country, namely the relative emphasis in our education on humanities and sciences. To a country like ours, which has entered the committee of materially advanced nations at a somewhat late stage, the problem is of some importance. The great progress of some countries of the world in the 18th and 19th centuries was due in a great measure to the stimulus given by the Industrial Revolution. The whole pattern of development was determined by scientific advances, which in their turn were greatly influenced by the universities. Though the pattern of development may not have been the same in all the countries of the world, there is uniformity in the development of the industrial nations in the West. Their progress has depended to a large measure on scientific research and technology. The prospect of following this pattern of development in our country is a fascinating one, and in the last few years, we have seen the springing up in different parts of the country a number of institutes in which applied research is being encouraged and fostered. The enlargement of facilities for research has provided vast opportunities for young men and women to pursue objective inquiry in various branches of science and technology. These institutes, which have a great part to play in the economic development of the country, depend for their personnel on universities, which are traditionally the sources for the discovery and training of the nation's talent. I wish to refer to the problem of discipline. One hears constantly of educationists lamenting the rank indiscipline among students. It appears to me that this is a passing phase and is an indication of abundance of youth. There is no gainsaying, however, that discipline in the sense of self restraint and voluntary acceptance of rules in the interest of the community as a whole is absolutely vital for progress. We refrain from violence and accept discipline not because of the fear of policemen but because we are guided by ethical values and by good sense. Students are no exception to this. I appeal to the students to realize that they have a noble and responsible part to play in the future of the country. They should equip themselves fully to play their parts as citizens of a great country, consciously and deliberately developing good qualities of self control and restraint. It is through adherence to moral and ethical values the problems facing the nation can be solved. The basic problem of our country, namely the eradication of poverty, cannot be solved without the cultivation of human sympathy and the abolition of barriers which make understanding among the various sections of the people impossible. For the promotion of these and other constructive endeavors, students should band themselves together in a disciplined manner and dedicate themselves to serve the nation. It has been a privilege to have been with you all this morning, and I render my thanks to the authorities of the universities and the state for giving me this opportunity of placing my thoughts before you. I join with you in congratulating the new graduates who will be leaving the portals of this university with hopes and aspirations in the service of our country and wish them all success. The General Manager, City Transport Service, Bangalore. Dear Sir, the citizens of this place have been experiencing lot of problems due to lack of proper city bus services throughout the day. The facility that should have been provided to the public by your organization a few years earlier is not available even today. Inadequacy of buses and construction of garages at a single point have been the main reasons for the hardship. Further, some of the drivers and conductors take things easy and do not ply the buses entrusted to their care as per the time schedule. Breakdown of vehicles is the common complaint, and the staff entrusted with the responsibility of maintenance rarely attended to their job promptly. The checking inspectors being aged and less receptive to public complaints, the control exercised by them is not effective and appears to be casual. In this connection, I wish to mention an instance without indicating the names of the persons and the route number because it may result in further deterioration in the service available to the public. As per the schedule, there is a bus 2 hour extension at 13 hours, and the last Sunday, the passengers were made to wait for over an hour. They could get into the bus stranded a few yards away from the specified place at about 14 hours. The reason for the delay was that the driver who was to come on duty did not turn up. Another item of hardship is that of diverting the scheduled bus to other route either to satisfy the staff or comply with some influence. Such instances are happening every day, and the authorities may be instructed to make alternative arrangements and to avoid diversions so that the public hardship could be minimized. It is not my intention to blame the staff of your esteemed organization, and I am fully aware of the difficulties faced in running the administration to the satisfaction of both staff and public. However, it is an appeal to both administrators and staff to keep in mind the larger interest of public and be worthy of the word service. Thanking you, yours faithfully.